ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवा स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदा स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमि स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम शांति शांति शांति. We are studying here Muṇḍaka Upanishad of the Atharva Veda with the help of Shankaracharya's commentary, and we have finished reading the first Muṇḍaka, both the sections, and we have to start with the second Muṇḍaka today. And the connection, let me tell you, is that Shaunaka went to Angiras and asked him, knowing what everything becomes known, and he told him that knowing itself is of two kinds. Subject knowing the object leads to karma, and subject knowing the common reality is a very different knowledge. That depends upon nature of that reality. And so in brief the nature of the reality was described. Yatad adreshyam agrayam, and along with that, that bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhira, that it is the creator of the whole world. So it is beyond everything and immanent in everything. And then in the second section, he started with telling tadetat satyam, relative truth, but it is absolutely true in the sense when you are doing karma, you will definitely get its result, provided you have to do karma very sincerely, devotedly, without any mistake, and then you will get that result. You will be welcomed in heaven, and afterwards it is telling that, but this boat is very brittle, it will not take you across the shore of the transmigratory world. And then a shloka came to tell us about the other type of people, the grasthas which have become calm due to their knowledge, the vanaprasthas and the dandi sannyasis who live in forest, and depending upon shraddha and tapasya they live, and they reach that person who is beyond everything, and they reach, they go, itself shows that that is not the absolute reality. That person is the Brahma or Hiranyagarbha. And then came a shloka to tell us that man examines everything with the help of scriptures and his reasoning and other things, that whatever loka, whatever result I get out of my karma is finite, and so without any substance within. Shankara has given a lot of examples about it. And what shall I do with that? In this world there is nothing which is not a result of some action. And what shall I do with such things? So, to know that reality, he must go to a guru. And there Shankara has said, Shastrajopi swatantrena brahmanveshanam na kuryat. You may be a knower of the scriptures, but you should not search independently for Brahman. For that, you must go to the Guru. And that Guru should be Shrotriya Brahmanishta, and the disciple goes with humility, and then the Guru teaches him. That was the end of that section and chapter. Now, the details of that has to be given. The details of lower knowledge was given so that we should get dispassion about it, dispassion about the very idea that I shall get something by doing something. And after that dispassion and going to the Guru, how we learn, it depends upon the nature of the reality. So there we come today, and the first mantra of the second Muṇḍaka starts like this. Tadetat satyam. This is truth, absolute truth. What is truth? Tadetat satyam yatha sudiptat pavakad visfulinga sahasrasha prabhavante sarupa tathaksharad vividha somya bhava prajayante tatra chaivapi yanti. So what was described in short is being described in detail now, and first we meet with the immanent Brahman, the all-pervading Brahman. From Brahman everything has come out. Now Brahman being all-pervading, nothing can actually come out. So it was not manifested, it became manifested with examples. Again, no reason applies there. So always it is explained through examples only. What is that? Sudiptat pavakat, by a fire which has been well ignited. Visfulinga, sparks. Sahasrasha, thousands. Prabhavante, get born. Sarupa, of the same nature as that of the fire. The nature of sparks and nature of fire is the same. In that manner, from this Akshara Brahma, the unchanging reality, Vividha Somya Bhava, all the Bhava means positive existence. Vividha Bhava means the variety of positive existences, subtle or gross. Prajayante, are born nicely. And then it adds, Tatra Chaivapi Yanti, and they go back to him only. So is this Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Karta, but it is beyond everything. Akshara. Akshara means undecaying, unchanging. From the unchanging reality, all the positive existences get born and go back to it. So, both the aspects are described simultaneously, the same mantra. By telling Akshara, we are told that it is beyond everything, and then it is the Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Karta has been told in the same breath. So we should never make the mistake of calling Brahman only transcendent. Transcendent, immanent reality, one without a second. So, from that, just like sparks coming out of fire of the same nature, from that absolute reality, all the positive existences, subtler or grosser, come out and go back to it. Now let us see how Shankar has introduced it. Aparavidyaya sarvam karya muktam. The effects or products of lower knowledge have all been described. Such a sansaro, that is the transmigratory world, yat saro. What is the reality or essence, substance of that transmigratory world? Yasmat mulad aksharat sambhavati. From that transcendent reality, everything gets born. Yasmin chapraliyate. In that itself it goes back. Tad aksharam purushakyam satyam. So that akshara name is Purusha also. Purusha means all-pervading and perfect, infinite. Purna. Difficult to translate this Purna in English. Perfect, infinite, whole, in which nothing is wanted, that Purnam. And Puri Shayanat Purnatvatva, and it is all-pervading. So that is called Purusha. That is also truth. That is the truth. Absolutely truth. Yasmin Vigyate Sarvamidam Vigyatam Bhavati. And that is what Shaunak had asked. Knowing which everything becomes known. Vigyate means experientially known. tat parasya brahma vidyaya vishaya. So, what is the subject matter of that brahma vidya? Savaktavya iti uttaro grantha arabhyate. So, now the remaining portion of the grantha or the book deals with only that Parabrahma which has to be known really as a superior knowledge. Yad apar vidya vishayam karmaphala lakshanam satyam tadapekshikam. So that satyam which was told in the second section of the first Muṇḍaka was a relative truth. It was of the nature of the results of action. It was the subject of lower knowledge. Idam tu, but this Paravidya Vishayam, the subject matter of the absolute higher knowledge, Paramartha Sat Lakshanatvat. It is Paramartha Sat. It is the ultimate reality, Lakshanatvat, because it has the characteristics of being the absolute reality. It is the subject of the higher knowledge. Tadetat satyam yatha bhutam vidya vishayam. So here truth means as it is the object of yatha bhutam, and as its nature. Vidya vishayam, it is the object of real knowledge. Avidya vishayatvat cha anrutam itarat. So by calling this truth, the other becomes untrue, because that is the subject of the lower knowledge. Here we shall always remember that one fact, which Vivekananda has said, man does not go from error to truth, that is how you look at it. Man goes from lower truth to higher truth. So that was the lower truth, that was the relative truth, this is the absolute truth. Atyanta parokshatvat katham nama pratyakshavat satyam aksharam pratipadyara niti drishtantam aho. Now there is a peculiar term here. Atyanta parokshatvat. Today, that means today. Today we cannot see it. Today somebody has to tell us about it. Today it is extremely of this nature that somebody else has to tell us about it. Atyanta parokshatvat. Those who are holding Nikhilananda's translation will find that it is the object of intuitive direct knowledge. And those who are holding Gambhiranji's translation will find that it is absolutely beyond direct knowledge. And the meaning is that is the intuitive translation, Nikhilanji's, and Gambhiranji's translation is literal translation. So the word is Atyanta Parokshatvat. I have told you the spirit of it, that today Brahman is not directly perceptible to us. Somebody else has to tell us about it, that is Paroksha. And it is such that it is too much that somebody should tell us about it. We are absolutely not connected with it today. That is Atyanta Parokshatvat. Katham nama pratyakshavat satyam aksharam pratipadyare. And how to describe it to the sadhak in such a way that as if he is seeing it directly, though it is absolutely indirect, how to describe it to make it direct? Iti drishtantamaha. For this an example is given. So many things are told here. The example gives us some direct perception. The logicians say that it does not give the correct answer. Let them know that no reason gives the correct answer. Correct answer is only when we experience it. And the source is only what the sages tell us about it. So, drishtantamaha, it is conveyed through an example. Example we directly see, so we feel that we are seeing that directly. That is parokshavat, pratyakshavat, satyam aksharam pratipadyaran. Pratipadyaran means how they will know it as if directly. For that an example is given. because example always gives us that which we know. And when we know that, we feel that like that we will know that also. That is the meaning. Example, yada sudiptat sushtu diptat idhat, nicely burning, pavakad, fire, agner visfulinga agni avayava, sparks which are parts of that fire. Sahasrasho anekasha, uncountable. 1,000 does not mean 1,000 literally, it means beyond count. Prabhavante, nirgachanti, come out. Sarupa, agnisya lakshana eva, of the same characteristics of that as fire. Tatha, ukta lakshanat akshara. Similarly, from the akshara which has been already described, the characteristics has already been told. Nana deho padi bhedam anuvidhiyamanatvat vividha. Why variety? Because through so many bodies that consciousness shines. Upadhi bhedam, that means that is not its real nature, it appears like its real nature, different bodies. And because it is through so many different bodies it is manifested, so it is called vividha, variety. Manatvat vividha, hey Somya, oh dear one, oh good looking one, that is the address to Shaunak from Angiras. Bhava, Jiva. So positive existence says, Shankar says it means the living beings. It means those who feel I exist, that Jiva. Akashadiva, Ghatadi Parichinna, Sushira Veda. So the Shruti gives an example, Shankar gives another example to understand that. And that is that there is space. And we put a jar. Now we do not create anything new, but that different sushira, that hole or blank space appears to be different. So something comes out means some new appearance comes, dealing with the same reality as the absolute reality. Ghatadi parichinna, sushira veda, ghatadi upadi prabhedam anubhavanti. So this upadi is of ghata and they become as if different. Evam nana nama rupa kruta dehopadi prabhavam anuprajayante. So here what is there? Names and forms. The bodies are nothing but names and forms, and that is the upadi. Upadi prabhavam anuprajayante. So the effect of that upadi is that new things are born. Tatra chaiva tasmineva aksharepi yanti dehopadi vilayam anuliyante ghatadi vilayam anu iva sushira bheda. When that jar breaks, then the vacuum within that jar as if goes back to the general space. Similarly, these different beings ultimately go back to that Brahman. Yatha akarasya sushira bhedotpatti pralaya nimittatvam ghatadi upadi kritameva tadvad aksharasyapi namarupa krita dehopadi nimittameva jivotpatti pralaya nimittatvam. How the reality is the cause of the birth and pralaya of this world? It is due to the appearance of different bodies. Just as due to different jars, we feel the space is divided or born in different things. Similarly, it is only due to the upadi of bodies that the akshara seems to be born. Divyo hi amurta purusha sa bhaya bhantaro hi aja aprano hi amana shubro hi aksharat paratah paraha. Divya, divine, not of this world. Hi amurta, formless. Purusha, all pervading perfect reality. has no form of its own, it is beyond this world. Sabhayabhyantaro, he aja, because it is both inside and outside and middle also. Together with inside, let us understand this sometime. Our ordinary concept of all-pervading is like something filled in something, like air in a balloon. When you take out the air, that rubber of the balloon remains and it becomes container contained, as if the world is bigger than Brahman. That is not the real all-pervasiveness. Take the example of a wave of water. What is that wave of water? That reality with a form, water with a form. And what is that form? Water itself. And when you take away, what is that form also goes. So it is without form. So that is sabhaya abhyantaro hi ajaha. Along with the external and internal. Now this doubt comes sometime. Inside. If it is inside the body, outside is something. If it is the same, then what is the between the body itself? So body itself is also that. Sabhaya abhyantaro. Along with the outside and inside in the central also, he aja. So what is his birth? Only appearing all-pervasiveness is his birth. Actually, in reality, it has no prana. It has no breath. It has no eye function. And amana. It has no mind also. So, this prana, this mana, they appear afterwards, when it appears as different bhavas. In its real nature, they are not there. Shubhro, it is bright, means it is pure. He aksharat parata para, that is an important thing now. World is not yet created. So that unmanifested world also is akshara. That is para akshara. Beyond this world is the unmanifested world, but it is beyond that also. Because that has unmanifested names and forms. This has no names and forms. So, it appears through names and forms, but the ultimate of this appearance is the unmanifested world. It is beyond that also. So, every mantra will tell us absolute transcendent and absolute immanence. So, that is the second mantra. Shankaracharya tells us, Namarupa bija bhutad avyakritakhят swavikarapekshaya parad aksharat param yat sarvopadi bheda varjitam aksharasaiva swarupam akashasaiva sarvam urjita varjitam neti neti ityadi visheshanam vivakshan aha. What he wants to tell? That names and forms which are not yet manifested, that comes out of Brahman. So it is beyond that also. That itself is called Akshara, but the reality is beyond that Akshara also. Param yat sarva upadi bheda varjitam, Vikraya has no upadis at all. Aksharasya eva swarupam akashasya eva. So, like sky, that it has no form, it can only be described as not this, not this. That is what the Upanishad wants to tell. Emphasis is always on Nirgun. Divya Dotanavan Swayam Jyotishvat. It is light itself. It is consciousness itself. And so Divya. Divya Swatmani Bhavo Alaukiko Va. Or this Divya can have two other meanings. One is that Diviva. not in this earth, beyond. It can have also the meaning Swatmani Bhava, you will realize it in your own self, Alaukiko va, not of this world. So you can take any meaning, not of this world, beyond everything, as a matter of our experience, and it is self-luminous. He yasmad amurta, sarva murti varjita, because in that there is no form. Purusha, purna purishayova. So purusha means that it is purna, complete in itself, beyond everything, perfection itself, purishayova, or it is sleeps in this world as a town, or our body as a town. Divyo hi amurta purusha. So it is divine and without a form. Sabhayabyantara. Sabhayabyantarena vartate iti ajo. It lives as with outside, inside also. So aja, because it is not born, it does not undergo the transformation called birth. Kutashit svato anyasya janma nimittasya cha abhavat. It itself may be the cause of something? No. It itself may be caused by something? No. That is aja. Yatha jalab udbudade vayuvadi यथा नभ सुशिर भेदानाम घटादि सर्वभाव विकाराणाम जनि मूलत्वात् तत्प्रतिषेधेन सर्वे प्रतिषिद्धा भवन्ति. So foam, bubbles, they are the names of water only, and space, sky, holes, blank spaces, they are the names only of space. Sarva bhava vikaranam jani mulatvat tat pratishi. And so, all the things which we see, they start from birth. And when you deny birth, we deny that their separate existence. Sarve pratisiddha bhavanti. Sabhayabyantaro hi ajo. It is of this nature, therefore, ato ajaro amrita akshara dhruvo abhaya iti artha. So it does not get old also, it does not die also. The changeless one is constant beyond any disease. That is the meaning. Yadyapi dehadi upadi bheda drishti nam avidyavashat deha bhedeshu saprana samana sendriya savishya iva pratyavabhasate. Now, our drishti is that this body which is the upadi itself is the reality due to our wrong knowledge. Then, in the different dehas, it is with prana, with mana, with indriyas, with objects, it appears like that. Talamaladi iva akasham, sky. Sky has no base, neither any color or dust. But it appears to the ignorant mind. Akasha appears to be blue in color. Akasha appears to have a hemispherical shape. Tathapi tu swatah paramartha drishtina, but in itself and to those who have the real eyes, aprano avidyamana kriya shakti bhedavan chalanatmako vayu. What is pran? It has the power of movement, work, and chalanatmako, it moves. Vayu. Yasmin asau aprana. But it does not have movement like that. Tatha amana aneka jnana shakti vedavat sankalpadi atmakam mano api avidyamanam yasmin so I am amana. Similarly, without the mind, because the mind has knowledge of several kinds and it has Shakti of creation of many types, and it thinks sometimes like that and sometimes like that. But in that there is no such functioning mind. So aprano hi amanascha iti pranadi vayu veda karmendriyani tad vishayascha tatha cha buddhi manasi buddhindriyani tad vishayascha pratisiddha veditavya. So when it is said that it is without prana and without man, we should understand it is without jnana indriyas, without karma indriyas, without prana vrittis. Tatha shrutyantare dhyayativa lelayativa iti. In the Brihadaranyaka, it appears to think. It has no brains to think. It appears as moving. It does not move actually. So that is what is meant by aprana amana. Yasmacha evam pratisiddha upadi dvaya tasmat shubra shuddha. Because these two limiting adjuncts are not there, so it is pure. Ato aksharat nama rupa bijopadi lakshitasya rupat. That thing which is characteristic, which is known through indicated meaning, that there is seed of names and forms. Sarva karya karana bijatvena. The seed of all the bodies and organs, lakshamanatvat, that is only indicated. Tad upadi lakshanam avyakrutaksham aksharam sarva vikarebhya tasmat parato aksharat paro nirupadika purushetartha. So that is the manifested world. It is beyond that, so it is called beyond names and forms. Yasmin sad akashakhyam aksharam saumyavahara vishayam otam protam cha. So that akshara comes to our behavior, and it is everything full, that behavioral things are pota and prota. That means when a cloth is made, some threads go like this, some threads go like this. That is called Ota-Prota. So the whole world is nothing but Brahman. So Ota-Prota Brahman. Katham punar apranadimatvam tasya uchyate. If it appears as the world, how do you say it is beyond prana? Yadi pranadaya pragutpatte purushaiva svena atmana santi. Before they were born, prana, etc., if they were constant, the man before he is born, he does not exist with that form. Natute pranadaya pragutpatte purushaiva svena atmana santi. So before birth even, we have some form, but that akshara has no form. Tada ato apranadiman para purusha yatha anutpanne putra aputro devadatta. So a man who does not have a son, we will say he is without a son. So Devadatta does not have a son, so it is an original Devadatta. That is how it has been described. But from that prana is born. Etasmat jayate prano mana sarvendriyani cha kham vayur jyotirapa prithvi vishwasya dharini. From this is born, third mantra, from this is born prana, mana, all the organs, all the Vayu Vedas, Pancha Prana Vedas, water, Prithvi, which holds the whole world. So last two elements of matter are described, Prithvi and water, and from that all the elements are present and it appears as this world. Etasmad eva Purushat, from this very Purusha, Namarupa Bija Upadi Lakshitat, indicated by the seed of names and forms, Jayate Utpadyate, are born, Avidya Vishaya Vikara Bhuto, that which are the objects of wrong knowledge. Vikar, we call them modifications. नामधेयो अनृतात्मका प्राणा वाचारमण विकारो नामधेया. अविद्या विषय विकार होतो. बिकॉज ऑफ अ रॉंग नॉलेज इट appears नामधेयो ओनली नेम्स. अनृतात्मका inside is unreality prana vacharmana vikaro namadheyam. So that is told in the Chandogya Upanishad. It is only the diversification of language, no substance. Anrutam iti shrutyantara. In some other book it is called unreal. Nahi tena avidya vishayena anrutena pranena सप्राणत्वं परस्य स्यात् अपुत्रस्य स्वप्नदृष्टेन एव पुत्रेण मनुष्यत्व पुरुषत्वम. So a man creates another Purusha by magic and dissolves it. Similarly, all these things are created by God and finally dissolved. Like a great magician. एवं मनः सर्वाणि च इंद्रियाणि विषयाश्च एतस्मादेव जायन्ते. So all the organs and objects, it is clear that they are born from it. And there is nothing other than it. So from this body itself, everything becomes born. Tasmat siddhamasya nirupacharita apranadi matvam ityartha. So really you have described that it is beyond having prana and all that. यथा च प्रागुत्पत्ते परमार्थतो असंता तथा परिणाश इति द्रष्टव्या. So before creation it was there asanta, it was not real. Before creation it was not real. Tatha परिणाश, when it gets dissolved also it is not real. Drashtavya, that is how we should think of it. यथा करणानि मनश्च इंद्रियाणि तथा शरीर विषय कारणानि भूतानि खम आकाशम वायुर अंतर्बाह्य अवादि वेदा ज्योतिरग्नि आप उदकम पृथ्वी धरित्री विश्वस्य सर्वस्य धारिणी एतानि च शब्दस्पर्श रूपरस गंध उत्तर गुणानि पूर्व गुण सहितानि अस्माद् एव जायन्ते. So from that prana is born, indriyas are born, mind is born, and the 5 elements are born. Vayur, Jyotir, Apa, Prithvi, which is the dharini of the whole Vishwa. Kham, Vayu, Jyotir, Apa, Prithvi. So they are all born from this. Now that has been told in short. Now details. Details means nothing in the world should remain untouched, which is not manifestation of Brahman. That is why the details are given. Details are given not for us to understand cosmology. Details are given for us to understand that whatever is there has come out of him only. Agnir Murdha Chakshushi Chandra Suryau Disha Shrotre Vagvivrutascha Veda Vayu Prano Hridayam Vishamasya Padbyam Prithvi Esha Sarvabhutantaratma. Now the cosmic form is described. Fire is its head, moon and sun are its eyes, the directions are its ears, the famous Vedas are its speech, the famous wind is its prana. So the whole universe is its heart because it is experienced there. And जिसके चरणों से पृथ्वी प्रकट हुई है, and from his feet is born this earth. वह देव संपूर्ण भूतों का अंतरात्मा है, and it is the innermost being of all the gross objects of this world. In this way, subtle and gross will be simultaneously expressed. Agnir Dhyuloka. So here Agni means the divine sphere. Asau Vava Gautam Loko Gautama Agni iti Shrutehe. Because in other Upanishad it is given, this is the place of fire. Murdayasya Uttamangam Shira. It's the higher instrument is the body, head. Chakshushi Chandrasya Suryasya iti Chandra Suryo Yasya eti Sarvatra Anushanga Kartavya. So, Chakshushi Chandra, this we should go on adding everywhere, that this becomes this. Asya iti asya padasya vakshamanasya yasya iti viparinamam krutva. Now here the word used is Visham asya. So asya means think of this world as created, and then we know that all that is Brahman. Sarvai antakarana vikaram eva jagan manasi eva sushupte pralaya darshanat. If the world is real, where does it go? In pralaya time? In deep sleep, where it does go? In deep sleep it goes into pralaya. So, it is the manifestation of the same subtler elements. That is how it is derived. Vagvivrita udghatita disha shrotra yasya. The directions are its ears. Vagvivrita udghatita prasiddha veda yasya. When speech is manifested, it becomes Veda. Vayu prano yasya. That becomes his inner being. Hridayam antakaranam visham samastam jagadasya tasya iti etat. So all the world is within my heart. Sarvami antakarana vikaram eva jagad manasi eva sushupte pralaya darshanat. In deep sleep, where it goes? It goes in the mind. So all good things in the world vanish suddenly. Like that it exists. Jagaritepi tata eva agni vishulinga lingavan viprativishtanat. So when you are awake, you can see the world, or you can see that the world is only forms. Like the sack in which you have brought things which can be seen by others. You can see them or you cannot see them. In either case, it is that bag. Padbhyam jata prithvi. By running fast, they reach that prithvi. Esha devo Vishnur ananta prathama shariri trilokya dehapadi sarvesham bhuta antaratma. So this which will come out is called the all-pervading reality. It has the first birth, body, indriyas, etc. Sarvesham bhutanam iti artha. We can easily see from this analogy that the whole world is nothing but his creation. Sahi sarva bhuteshu drashta shrota manta vigyata sarva karanabhyam pancham indriya dvarena cha ya sansaranti praja tasa api tasmadeva purusha prabhavante ityarthadi iti uchyate. See, in all the beings there is a seer, listener, knower, but this is all only the self. Through different upadhis, it becomes knower, etc. You see, Vikramji, there is some problem, not with me, because my other classes are going perfectly. So the problem is somewhere else. Now that the 40-minute limit has come, and again our thing has reappeared. Now I will have to put my audio again and start. Yes, we are muted, now it has become on. So this happens after 40 minutes. Last time also it happened. If you want, next time I will come to university and have the class there. Anyway, now I resume. Your internal connection is unstable. My stable is not unstable, not at all. I am having 2 classes every day and no problem comes there. Anyway, now it is like this here. I understood some between me and you some gap happens. So my proposal is that from next Wednesday I will come to university and have the class there. Okay, we go to the next mantra. Tasmad, I hope it is continuing. Tasmad Agni Samidho Yasya Surya Somat Parjanya Aushadaya Prithivayam Pumandreta Sinchati Yoshitayam Bhavi Praja Purushatsam Prasuta. Now everything in the world has to be shown coming from that. So in our mind something should not remain. Oh, this is not told, that is not told. So the description is meant for already told that it is all pervading. But this all pervasiveness should be made comprehensible. And therefore from that is Agni, from that is the firewood, from that is the sun, from that is the moon, from that is the rain, from that is the plants, from plants are growing in the earth, from the moon the rain comes, and the man sprinkles reta into woman. All that is he only. And from that so many beings are born. So all are born from him only. A gives birth to B. B thinks he is my father, A thinks that B is my son. But actually the same reality appears as father and the son. That is what is being told. So he Sarva again gone. Now it is going every 5 minutes and reappearing. Yes. It goes and reappears. And what I have to do every time?
Recording in progress.
Yes, now recording has come. Okay. So I have to put my audio every time on there. Now everything is all right. So you have to see that the recording continues, video recording. I am recording with my audio. So everywhere it appears that something is born from something, but he is the reality. Sahi sarva bhuteshu drashta shvata manta vigyata sarva karanatma panchagni dvarena chaya sansaranti praja tapi tasmadeva purushata prajayante iti uchyate. Here the reference is made to 5 fires for Vairagya. That when they go to heaven, that is fire, and they come as raindrops, that is another fire. They enter the earth, that is another fire. And they come out as plants, that is another fire. And it is eaten by man, that is another fire. And man sprinkles it in woman, that is another fire. So through these 5 fires, it comes away. Because in Chandogya these 5 fires are described, so they are being referred to here. Panchagni dvarena chaya sansaranti praja tapi tasmadeva purushat prajayanti iti uchyate. But they are actually born from the same God. All beings born from this Panchagni are actually born from the same God. Tasmat parasmat purushat, they are all from the same absolute reality. Prajavasthana vishesha rupa agni. So from that to be born itself is described as Agni. So visheshate, and Tasmat Agni is the first word. So he says that from that Praja is coming out, that is described as Agni. Samidho yasya Surya. So this itself is Panchagni Vidya, that its Samidha as the Surya. Surya nahi Dyuloka Samidhate, because from sun the Dyulok shines. Tato hi Dyulokat Nishpannat Somat, and from that moon is born, and from moon the rain comes, Dvitiya Agni Sambhavati, Tasmatcha Parjanyad Oshadaya Prithivayam Sambhavanti. So rain comes into earth, and the plants are born. Oshadibhyo Purushagno Hutabhya Upadana Bhutabhya Puman Agni. So they become eaten by man. That means in the man fire they are again born. And Puman Reta Sinchati Yoshitayam, and man puts the seed in the woman. Yoshiti Yoshagno Striyamiti. Yoshitayam means in woman. Evam कर्मेण बहवीर्भव प्रजा ब्राह्मणाद्य पुरुषात् परस्मात् संप्रसुता samutpanna. So Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, all the prajas are born in this way. So they are born from him only. And not only praja, then they will do work. Tasmad rucha sama yajunshi diksha yagyascha sarve kratavo dakshinascha samvatsarascha yajamanascha loka somo yatra pavate yatra surya. I think we better stop here. We can continue reading on the next turn. We are up to 5 mantras. From 6 onwards, we will read afterwards. It is nothing but the all pervasiveness without exception of the same reality. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Deva Bhadram Pashyem Akshabhir Yajatra Thirai Rangai Stushtavanshas Tanuvi Vyashema Deva Hitam Yadayuh Swastina Indro Vruddhashrava Swastina Pusha Vishwaveda Swastina Sarksho Arishtanemi Swastino Brahaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.